You have been told this World Cup will generate $30 billion for American host cities. FIFA's own president told worried fans yesterday to simply chill. Here is what nobody is telling you. Brazil heard the exact same promises in 2014, invested $14 billion, sparked nationwide protests, and watched the economic returns collapse so far below projections that the stadiums built for that tournament became symbols of public money wasted rather than national pride delivered. The 2026 tournament has not ended yet, but the pattern is already visible in the booking data coming out of Dallas, Houston, and Atlanta right now. And it is the same pattern economists documented after every World Cup since 1994. Subscribe and drop a comment below. Do you think American host cities will regret signing these deals? Tell us exactly why. Let us start with the number that the official promotional material buries in fine print. Expected to generate $11 billion in profits from this World Cup. The host cities, meanwhile, are shouldering hundreds of millions of dollars in costs covering security at matches, stadium retrofitting to accommodate soccer, and fan festival operations. Texas came up $14 million short after hosting the FIFA Club World Cup last year, according to a breakdown of tax revenues. $14 million short from the warm-up tournament, before the main event arrived. Officials in Foxborough, Massachusetts threatened in February to withhold permits for World Cup matches unless FIFA or the New England Patriots committed to paying $7.8 million in security costs up front. A host city threatening to block World Cup matches over unpaid security bills 2 weeks before kickoff. That is not a logistical hiccup. That is the financial model of this tournament exposing itself in public. After the 1994 World Cup, the 9 U.S. host cities posted cumulative losses between $5.5 billion and $9.3 billion, well below the $4 billion gain that had been forecast before the tournament. A 2004 study found that the average host city experienced more than $700 million in reduced local income during the event. Losses were linked to a crowding out effect, where higher prices for hotels and other venues discouraged regular tourists from visiting. The crowding out effect. Regular tourists who would have visited Dallas or Atlanta in June and July simply do not come because prices have been inflated by tournament demand projections that have not materialized. The international fans who were supposed to replace that regular tourism have been kept away by travel bans, visa processing failures, and an enforcement atmosphere that has made international visitors from dozens of unrestricted countries decide the trip is not worth the risk. A survey of more than 200 hotels across 11 U.S. host cities by the American Hotel and Lodging Association found that nearly 80% reported bookings tracking below initial forecasts. Respondents cited difficulties for overseas visitors in obtaining visas, elevated geopolitical tensions, and steep ticket and travel prices as the primary factors dragging on attendance. 80% of host city hotels below forecast. Not 50%. 80. FIFA President Infantino defended World Cup ticket prices on June 10th, telling fans they should chill. FIFA collects $11 billion in profit. Host cities absorb hundreds of millions in costs. Hotels sit below 80% capacity. Texas lost $14 million on the warm-up event, and the man whose organization structured this deal told the people absorbing the losses to chill. Portland State University media professor Tanner Cook, who studies sports mega-events, said the promises of economic growth and long-term investment from tournaments like this are rarely realized. Beneath the glossy broadcast, rising ticket costs are pricing out fans, and host cities face local infrastructure strains. Brazil built $14 billion worth of infrastructure and got protests. American host cities built nothing new and are still tracking toward losses because the fans who were supposed to pay for everything are not here. The tournament is live. The losses are already accumulating. And FIFA's president is telling everyone to chill.